Well, the Flash 906, titled The Good, the Bad, and the Lucky, aired tonight on the CW. It was probably the worst episode of The Flash that we've had in a long time. I'm kidding. I actually really liked the episode. The reason I started the review that way is because, like, literally okay, not everyone. There's a handful of people that agree with me on this. This episode was not bad. Was it the best episode? No. Was it even close to good? Maybe. But I actually had fun with it. Was it the best episode of the season? No, it's probably the worst episode of the season. But, which is not a high standard here. But, again, I had fun with this episode. And, yeah, Barry wasn't in it. Iris wasn't in it. Guess what? In 2 weeks, when the Flash comes back for 907, it's going to be all about Iris. Barry will be in it somehow. So, everyone attacking this episode for, Barry and Iris weren't in it. This isn't the first time Barry and Iris have not been in an episode. Literally, season 4, we had them gone like 2 or 3 times. Season 5 was Barry gone the entire episode, and Iris wasn't in it that much. Season 3, I believe, was the same thing. Season 5, 6, and 7, and 8 all had Barry not being in one episode each of those seasons. And barely anyone complained, well, at least for 1, the 2 in season 8, but I get why people are complaining because episode, it wasn't the best, but at least to me, it wasn't the worst. No, for a lot of you, it was the worst. But at the end of the day, this is the final season. And yes, I know for a lot of you, this episode sucked because it is the last season. But we need to wrap up Team Flash. I said that last week in my review. I said that in my promo breakdown. We need to wrap up Team Flash. We can't do that in the middle of a story arc. Did anyone ever think maybe we're doing this episode now so we don't have to deal with it in the middle of the Cobalt Blue story arc? So we're not dealing with Cecile and Allegra and Chester in the Cobalt Blue story arc? Did anyone ever consider that? No, because you're all too focused on hitting on the show instead of an actual decent thing that's happening. What's going to happen is when the Cobalt Blue story happens and we start it, we're going to be digging into the entire... It'll be Barry-centric. We won't have to deal with Team Flash pushing Barry to the side, pushing Cobalt Blue to the side. And it's 1 episode out of 13. And then everyone complaining, it's a filler for the final season. That's so stupid. Supergirl had about 5 of them. Arrow had 2 or 3 of them. But none of you guys complained during that. It's so stupidly ironic how this community, and I'm not talking about my community, I'm talking about the Flash community in general here, goes from, best final season to Eric Wallace sucks when he gave us the best season in the show, season 8, or one of the best seasons, and some of the best Flash episodes of the series throughout season 6, 7, 8, and even 9, undoubtedly 9 when 909 happens. Like, I get it, not every episode is perfect, but to say that's bad because Barry and Iris aren't in it, come on. It's a final season, I get it, but it's called The Flash. Okay? And this show, and this is long before Eric Wallace joined the showrunner role, by the way. Decided by Todd Helbing, that The Flash is more than just Barry Allen. It is Team Flash as well. And at the end of the day, like I said twice now, we need to wrap them up so we aren't dealing with them when we should be focusing on Barry and Cobalt Blue in the last 4 to 5 episodes. Because who knows if 909 will be singing on Coa Blue or not. But, even though apparently it is, I don't know, but whatever. Also remember, this is the first half of the season. This is the last episode of the first half. 907 will begin the last half of the season. 907 through 913. 908 will be like really 100% past the half mark, but 906 and 907 are the 2 half points of the season. We're done with the first half. We're on the back half of season 9 now. So, and we have a week off. We come with 907 and 908, and we're off for 2 weeks, and we come back for 909, and then we're on for the rest of the season. We should be. If you can't enjoy an episode of the final season, which is ironic me saying that because I literally went on a rant about 902 because it was a filler in the middle of a story arc. Which, if Coa Blue was introduced last week, which he wouldn't have, but even if he was, and they put this episode in, yes, this would be a completely different review right now. But the bottom line is, this is an interlude. This is a filler. This is not a part of the main story. It's a fun, loose episode. No main plot connected. It's just a fun episode. Becky Sharpe came back in it. I'm really glad she came back. I think she's the best part of the episode, next to Cecile, ironically. I think Cecile and Allegra are finally getting a chance to be useful for once. They're being pushed to the side. It's actually nice to see, Eric Wallace. It's like, you know, people will complain, why is this final season, which I know are not a lot of you, but those who do, I've been saying this for the last month or two now, since the season 9 started premiering and airing. I'm glad the show's ending, purely because I'm so sick of the hate the show gets. Like, if you have to hate watch this show after 9 years of watching, how about you quit? That's an idea for you. Quit wasting everyone's time and attacking this show when you can't sit down and watch 42 minutes of a fun, loose episode that was made for pure entertainment, by the way. If you can't do that, but you can watch an episode of Legend Season 7, yeah, go watch Legend and stay in your little crappy world and, you know, stay away from the Flash. How about you do that? And while we're at it, when the Flash ends, the hardcore fans that actually like the show no matter what, that support the show no matter what, and understand that Grant Gustin may need a day off from once in his life, how about we consider that next time, you know, a filler happens in a superhero show? Maybe the main lead wants a day off. Is that something that we can talk about? Or is it, you know, oh, Grant must suck now because he wanted a day off? I've seen the hate on the episode. I've seen some hate on Grant for wanting the day off, the episode off. No hate on Candace, though. Right? Because that's Twitter, you know. Jesus. Like, I get it. Barry wasn't in it. Iris wasn't in it. You know, it's a final season. Maybe he should have been in it more. But what could Barry have possibly done this episode? Investigative work? We've seen him do that 100,000 times. Cecile and Allegra, I think, were the best main focus of the episode because they needed to be useful for once. And they finally are. Khione we actually learn more about her, I guess, because she's not a meta nor a human, but she has cold powers. So, it's like, that's interesting. It caught my attention. Like, my attention was not already peaked, but, you know. And, you know, Nora's on the way. It fast forward another week. I don't know how long it's been since 905 to now 6. We know at least 2 to 3 weeks, probably. But it's just like, what we are dealing with is this community, again, the Flash community, not my community, the Flash community, attacking this show because of one semi-okay episode, which for a lot of you was bad, but one bad episode and suddenly, oh no, Eric Wallace sucks, this show sucks, this season sucks, Eric Wallace ruined this show, when most of you may I point out. A has said that season 8 is top 3 best seasons in the series, if not top 2 or top 1 even for some of you. B preferred 816 over this, which 816 had Grant in it, and I didn't give a 2 rat's craps about that episode. And 3, the bottom line is that this is the final season. I get criticized for enjoying the last 5 episodes of The Flash, for enjoying Red Death, for enjoying everything that's happened in the past 5 episodes. I criticize some of it. But overall, I am enjoying this season. It is a final season. It is the last run. I've been watching this show since season 3. I came in the middle of it. I've binge watched this show like 20 to 30 times. I'm not being sarcastic about that. Literally 20 to 30 times I've binge watched the show entirely through. Which is probably like 5 times. I've watched the show. I've been a part of the show for years. It is the last season. Is it perfect? No. Is it better than season 8 or 1 or 2? No. But I do think it's better than season 5 and 7 mixed together. This interlude was better than most episodes in 7. I don't know about season 5, but definitely season 7. It's just like, I get it. Final season, you want Barry. I get it. But Team Flash is a part of the Flash's life. If we get them out of the way now, we don't have to deal with it when Cobalt Blue's here. That's how I'm taking it, and it surprised me that no one else is seeing it that way. Maybe it's why I actually enjoy the episode because I'm not criticizing it 24/7, like most of you are. Overall, this episode was like a 5 out of 10. It wasn't bad. It wasn't that great. It was probably the worst episode of the season, and it probably will stick to that. But it was still, to me, an okay episode to the point where I'm not going to criticize it because I had fun watching it. I was intrigued in watching it. Could I have used more Barry? Sure. But at the end of the day, we got what we got. It's done now. Grow a pair and deal with it. Quit being crybabies and just try to enjoy the last moments of the final season of The Flash. Because we're not going to get this again. This is the last Arrowverse show standing. In live action. Who knows what's going to happen after The Flash is done. And I guarantee you, 909 through 913 will be some of the best Flash content this show's had in years. And I know that based off 3 things. 1, Oliver. 2, Cobalt Blue. And 3, a series finale. Which, I don't know who doesn't love series finales once it's like really dog like Supergirl's was. But The Flash, I already love the series finale based off one thing that we got, which is Barry in the final scene running throughout his city. That got leaked like a week ago when Grant wrapped filming. I already love the series finale. Based off that one little thing that we got. If that doesn't get anyone hyped for that series finale based off that one little clip, maybe don't watch it. The set photos that we got, if it doesn't hype you up, maybe don't watch it. There's a difference between enjoying something because you love it and watching a show because it's, quote, the final season, so I'm just going to suffer through it. If you can't watch this final season and enjoy it for what it is, a final season, just stop watching it. There's no reason in hitting on this show purely just hate. And this is coming from the guy who did a rant review last night of Superman Lois. If you feel like you absolutely need to hate, fine. But at the end of the day, it's done. Move on. We have 7 episodes left of The Flash. Ever. We're not getting new ones after this. This is done. There will never be a show, a superhero show, that goes on for further than 5 seasons from this point. Because a regular show rarely ever hits a season 5. Or beyond that. We got lucky. If you're a fan of this show, like myself, we got lucky. We even got 9 seasons. Have they all been good? No. Have the episodes all been great? Hell no. But at least we are getting an episode that isn't completely and utterly useless for the characters. They are making developments. They are growing. They are changing. It's not like we're straight up saying, oh, here's the main villain and we're going right to Cecile and Allegra. No. It's a fun, loose episode with no main plot, no story. Well, I guess a story, but it wasn't the main story. Season 9 in the back half. We're still in the first half. When 908 comes in, when 907 comes in, and 909 and 910 through 13, it will feel like a final season. I think this episode felt like a final season episode to me. It did. And I'm probably going to get hate for it, but I'm going to deal with it because I don't care. At the end of the day, it's the final season. I'm going to enjoy every single possible moment I can this show while I still got it. A lot of you can't get that. A lot of you don't understand that. Maybe you shouldn't be watching. I don't know what to tell you. But I had fun with this episode. Again, was it the best episode of the season? No, not even close. But I did enjoy it. So I'm not nitpicking it. I'm sitting here, I'm watching the episode, and I am enjoying it. Because it's The Flash, and it's my favorite show. With my favorite actor, Grant, with my favorite superhero, The Flash, being the main focus of the show. For 5 out of 6 episodes we had so far. So, to me, that is what I'm looking at when I watch this episode. Not, oh, it's the final season, Barry wasn't in it. It's trash. No. Come on. Let's stop this BS, grow up, and either enjoy these last episodes or criticize them. But when it comes down to when you're done, when the show's done, you're going to look back. The hate you've done for the show. And some of you will regret it. Some of you will hate that you did it. And it's just like, you gotta respect what we got. We could have gotten much worse, but we didn't. I know for a lot of you don't think that's possible, but trust me, it is possible. But we didn't. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching the video. Have a good day, have a good night, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.